Hello again. So, real quick, I know we just spoke on what are you doing now, and then I touched on the past a little bit, and then I touched on the future a little bit too. So, I want y'all to ask yourselves something like, how's your past affecting you? Like, ask yourself, how is my past affecting me, right? And I want you to pay attention to how you react to that question. What are you feeling? Like, are you feeling anger, any resentment? Are you feeling gratefulness? Are you feeling any growth? Anything to be proud of? Are you feeling like unforgiveness, vengefulness? Like, how is your past affecting you right now? All right. There's a lot of us that we are carrying around a lot of traumas, a lot of bad experiences, good ones too. But I'm kind of trying to touch on like the ones that I know for a fact it does affect our now way more. Like, the negative for some reason seem to affect our now way more than our positive. And if we can identify what those are, I think moving forward we'll be able to live a little bit less stressful life in our now and find ways to appreciate our now. Like, we can find ways to like be present, right? So again, sometimes we're walking around with our own things, and on the other hand, we're walking around with generational thing, right? Because things that happen to us, it's the same thing that happened to our mom, our grand aunts, or aunts, or whatnot, uncles, cousins, all of that. And it happened to them, they didn't heal, so now they pour that out on us. They gave us their trauma, and now their trauma became our trauma, and then we're just walking around here just being negative Nancy, basically, just being terrible human beings right now. Okay. All right, let me give you a quick example of something that I came to a realization with. Growing up, I thought, I love you, mommy, and I love you, daddy. Growing up, I thought that mommy and daddy never liked me. I thought these people that were, them go pick me up, which part me in there, them go trouble me, which part me in there, carry me come here. I know if you them a deal me shabby. What is wrong with these people? Like, what am I deal with me so like nobody can tell me some mother and father like me, and them a deal with me so. Same thing you might be thinking of your grand aunts, grand uncles, cousins, whatever, aunts, whatever the case may be. You may be thinking, like, because of the way they spoke to you, the things that they did and whatnot, the how they favored one person instead of you. You might be thinking that, they hate me, they dislike me and whatnot. Yes, in some cases it may be true, right? But for me, this is where I basically severed that whole generational thing, right? I decided like the buck is going to stop with me the moment like I raise my voice at my son, or me whooping like a bottom, you know what I'm saying? And then I felt so bad, and I'm like, if I feel like this, like, how is he feeling, And that made me think, like, when my mother and father did with me so and whatnot, and them have to go lie down in them bed at night time, or them beat me to within inch of my life and whatnot, like, them must feel some kind of, or them they start having flashbacks, like, this is how their parents used to deal with them, this is how their grandparents used to deal with them and whatnot. But because they haven't healed from it, because they haven't, they don't realize like there's a different way to do this, so they just pass that down to you, basically, generational traumas, right? And because I didn't like that for myself as a parent, it made me question, like, is it that my parents didn't love me, why they said certain things to me, or why they treated me certain way, or like why certain family members, favored, what I'm saying? Like, is it really a me problem? Is it really a me thing? But I came to the realization, like, no, it's not really a you thing. Yes, when you were growing up, you probably was a terrible child, because, like, yeah, I do that face and I get embarrassed. But we weren't perfect kids sometimes, you know what I mean? But at the same time, you still know that these are people that are supposed to protect you and make sure that everything is good with you. But have you ever thought to yourself, did anybody protect them? Did anybody make sure that they were good? And if no, then how, they were just doing the best that they could. So what I did in order to let go of that, I sat back and I thought of almost all of my experiences with my parents, with my grandparents, my aunts, and all of that, right? And I started to basically dig in, because again, negativity has a way of overshadowing positive, right? So much. So I had to dig in and tell myself, like, if my mom didn't love me, this lady probably would have dropped me off somewhere because she could not be bothered with me. You know what I'm saying? My dad probably would have, how foreign people say, left and go get milk and never came back, So, but they were still there. They were still trying their best. When my mom never really told me, I love you, like, it's since I became an adult and whatnot, like, I'd be hearing that from my mom. But like growing up, like, I never heard my mom tell me that she loved me or whatnot. But this was the same lady that would wash my clothes and, press it out, make sure that my hair is washed every single Sunday, and I was ready to go to school for the week. This was the same lady that would go borrow money from other people so that I could experience a trip. Everybody else was going, and she saw that I felt left out and she didn't have it, so she had to go borrow it from somebody else. My dad, he was a farmer, and he wasn't making no big bucks like that or whatever, but he tried his best to, whenever he sold something at the market and whatnot, that my mom got a little bit of change out of it so that I could go to school, so that my books can be bought and whatnot, But that would be the same man that soon as stress take him and ready for it, you know what I mean? Pop, 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 pop. But I found a way to laugh about all that negativity that I grew up with. And I realized, like, once I started doing that, I started healing in some amazing ways, when my mom would tell me, go brush your teeth. You cannot go road and talk to people, their mouth smell bad and all them kind of thing. And I thought she was trying to embarrass me. But as a child, you don't realize, like, the reason why your mom is telling you this is so that nobody else tells you that, because that's when you're gonna be embarrassed. You know, when they tell you go put on your Sunday best, or why you come out a road that look worse than everybody else, that was love. That was how they showed us that they loved us, through the sacrifices they made. Even through the beating them, what them give you and whatnot, is the fact that, listen, I brought you here. I mean, go trouble you which part of the day. I know I'm responsible for you, and I can't really provide for you. I can't really take care of you how you're supposed to be taken care of, you know. So it's not easy. I've realized, like, it cannot be easy for 2 or 3 or 5 or 6 kids to be telling you that they're hungry when you have nothing to give them. It cannot be easy when 5 or 6 kids is, you know, that they're supposed to go to school on Monday. Daddy never make enough money eat a market and them kind of thing that, you know, him can't go borrow no money from nobody else, mommy can't borrow no money from nobody else, because they haven't paid back what they already took from people, you know. So if you are looking at your past like that, you're analyzing it in order to find the positive inside of it, you know, that will give you so much hope to have a better now, to be a better mom in the present, to be a better daughter in the present, to be a better auntie, cousin, sister, brother, whatever, a better friend. Because now you understand certain things. When we thought that our parents didn't like us when they tell us stop go at John Brown yard, the thing is, they might not explain to you why they tell you don't go to John Brown yard, because they might see and hear things that they can't explain. They might have went through something somewhere, you know what I'm saying, but they're not gonna tell you what happened. But we thought that they hated us when they tell us, like, certain friends that no and all them kind of things. But in your adult state, like right now, the places and the people that your parents told you to stay away from, like, are you happy they did that? Are you grateful for that? Like, the experiences that you had growing up, are you grateful in some way for it? Or are you still angry? Are you still vengeful about it? Something that a cousin did to you, or an uncle did to you, you know, are you still vengeful about that? Like, you feel like you still want to go rock a orange suit over that? And the answer might be no. For me, I know it's a no. My life right now, it's way better than what happened way back then. I like this present moment. I want to live in this present moment. I am grateful in this present moment. How is your past affecting you? And what can you do now in order to step out of that? To elevate from it, to tweak it, to learn from it some way, somehow. How are you trying to sever generational traumas and curses? I know some people, they want to do generational wealth and all of that. but you're so terrible with money. Everybody in your family is so terrible with money. You know what I'm saying? So you have to figure out like what's the disconnect there before you can get to right now, you know. And I've had, and like when you heal from certain things or from certain traumas, or when you can look back at certain things and be like, whew, those were them days. Extend that to somebody, you know. Now I talk to my mom about almost any and everything. I ask her about her life when she was growing up, and that just made me even more like, Jesus, these people went through some shit. When I listen to my dad tell his stories sometimes and whatnot, like, bye. But the reason why the reason why they can still tell their stories, or why people can now tell their stories without being so conflicted about it and whatnot, is because they're trying to heal themselves. They're putting in the work in their now moments. So if you're doing something, or you have done something and it worked for you and it's making your now so beautiful, I think you need to extend that. Try to find a way to extend that to other people. Sever that generational line thing, that negativity, you know. For people that are stuck in the past right now, in just a negative, extremely negative light and whatnot, in this moment, ask yourself, like, is my life better right now than it was? Am I stronger or better off because this happened to me? Or am I worse off? Like, you gotta ask yourself some questions in order to put in the work. So how is your past affecting you? Ask yourself those questions. Do the work so you can get to your present moment, so you can get to your now and enjoy it. And when you heal some way, somehow, again, just extend it to somebody else. Let them know, like, you don't gotta become your past. You don't have to be that person. The now is beautiful. As much as you think it's stressful, would you rather be here or be back there? Would you rather be here or back in yesterday, the month before, the week before, the years before, the places that your parents was or your grandparents was? Do you want to be there, or do you want to be here in this moment? Ask yourself, how is your past affecting you?